All right, I suppose I'm live. I don't see anybody. I'll just wait till I see someone. Well, maybe I should start talking because this will be uploaded later on. Yeah, I just wanted to do another live stream. I didn't set a date for this or a time. Just figured, kind of again, spur of the moment, but maybe just be a little bit better prepared this time. So, and I've got I've prepared a little bit more to go in depth about some questions that people asked on the first live stream, and just answer those a little bit more in detail. So, yeah, looks to me like there's people joining, so I better get started. Anybody got a question? Right. Let me get a sip of coffee first. It's early here. Actually, it's not that early for me. I usually wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, maybe let's say 4:30. So that's my typical. My typical day is I wake up probably between 4:30 and 5, let's say, and then if I have to make any calls back home, I go outside and maybe take an hour's walk, make a call or so, and come back and wake up my wife at 6, get her ready to go to work, and she's out the door at 7. She'll make breakfast and all, and then once she leaves, lately for the blacksmithing at least, I've got to, yeah, hi there, Dave Thor and Tom Collins. Yeah, when for blacksmithing, I try to start a little bit later now. I don't try to get too, I can't hammer too early, so I kind of wait until maybe about 9 before I actually turn my forge on. But prior to that, I'll probably do some other cold work and stuff like that. So yeah, and that's my day. Once blacksmithing's over, and then I try to hit the gym if I can, or whatever other activity I have planned for the day. And then later at 5, I pick up my wife, and then come home and have dinner and go to bed at 8 o'clock. So I'm in bed at 8, but I probably don't sleep until 8:39. So my day's really nondescript. So yeah, how's it's only Gaz. How's things with you? Yeah, fine. I thought any more of redoing your adjustment. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, let me start to get into like some of the different things I want to talk about. But first thing I want to say is, I'm trying to improve this live stream. The picture, I noticed that the picture on the first one was not really good, and I kind of investigated that. But to me, it just seems like that fuzziness is just because my equipment. I'm using my old Mac computer, and so it's time for me to probably buy a new computer to upgrade. So I don't think it really matters much. You could see me, right? There's nothing else to say. But if I want to do live streaming of me when I'm hammering, which is the end goal, at least some of the time, then I've got to figure out maybe how to use my camera and connect that. So like I always tell everyone, I'm a dinosaur with technology. It takes a while, so just be patient. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say, let me just check yeah. How's the shop? Yeah, in the U.S., yeah, I'll touch on the U.S. in a little bit, Mushu, Porky Pie. What I wanted to say is that yesterday I did something I never have done in this lifetime, and I went to the movies by myself. I don't know why. I always thought that would be strange, and I'm not really a movie buff, but I just wanted to see that movie Dune, and it came out here, or came out I think a week earlier than maybe the release in the States or in some other places. And so I said, I'm taking afternoon off, and I'm gonna go see this roughly 3-hour long movie, and and that's it, and by myself. And so I went and saw the movie, and in the movie theater, literally, it's a pretty big movie theater. The screen was big, the seats were real nice. I don't know what, maybe the capacity is 120 people. The theaters are not massive like the old days, but anyway, so nice. And it was just me and one other guy, and that was it. And he had his feet up like he was lounging out, and I think he might have been sleeping at some point. And so it felt like I was in my own living room, to be honest. And so, and I'm not going to say anything about the movie. I mean, whatever, no spoilers or anything. But what I wanted to say is that, for not having gone to the movies for a long time, it was a nice experience. Movie visually was really nice, and the acting was really good for the most part. But for me, it was just a little bit slow, and the pacing was very, very slow in the movie. I think if you would have cut 45 minutes out of the movie, it would have been perfect. And, kind of held on some shots a long, long time and all. But I guess that's necessary nowadays. It's better than movies that jump around all the time. They cut from one scene to the next, and your eyes can't even focus. So yeah, Worth the Price of Admission, good movie. So if you get a chance, go check it out. All right, I gotta check here some of the questions. Yeah, okay. Tom Collins says, where did you first learn blacksmithing? Yeah, it was actually, I mentioned this, I think, in the first live stream, is that I got interested when I was in Taiwan, and I set up a tiny little forge, and I tried my hand at that, and it was really rudimentary. And, you know, my experience here was very limited. And then when my wife and I moved back to the U.S., and at that time we were in Portland, Oregon, I volunteered at a place called Fort Vancouver. And they have a program there, and it's still running, where if you volunteer your time once a week, you can be an apprentice. And so they have traditional coal forges set up there. And so I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot there. Not so much in the program, I would say, but from the friends that I made, who are still, you know, they're lifelong friends. You know, two guys in particular, and I'll mention their names. You know, Dean Moxley, he was very influential, and Neil Pope. And Neil actually got me, you know, actually, when I met Neil there, he helped introduce me to a job in Vancouver, Washington. And then my wife and I eventually moved to Vancouver. That's where we bought our first home. So, and then from there, and I worked that job for a couple of years, and I was getting more and more involved in blacksmithing and making tongs and basically nothing else. And then from there, I said to my wife one day, I just want to try to do this as a business. And my wife's very supportive person. Like, she doesn't care about money. I mean, in a crazy way, you know. So, and she said, yeah, go ahead. If you're not happy, don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. You know, we're young, you know, pretty young at that time. And, you know, when I got married, I was 30, and my wife was 35. So anyway, she was supportive. And so out of my shed there, I had a little blacksmith shop, and I started to fool around. And it really, where it got started was on eBay. And then with eBay, I always felt like that was a good platform because of, you know, you instantly could reach a lot of people. But the problem over time is that eBay became, I don't know, it's just too convoluted, and it was the fees were just becoming too much. And so I try to branch out, like, to advertise on Google, and that really got me started on my own website. But yeah, back in the day, I remember in Vancouver there, you know, selling whatever I was making, tongs and other different artifacts and like that. I remember the first month, I couldn't even pay my bills. You know, I couldn't even barely pay the mortgage. And I was like, oh no, you know, this might have been a bad move. And, you know, so, but we, like I said, I've said before that we're pretty frugal. And so we kind of stayed the course. And then, hey, you know, the next month was better, and the month after that. And it never got to the point where, like I said, I'm going, you know, just floating among the stars, but it was always pretty stable. It's just a stable income to this day. So, and that's basically all I've done. I shouldn't say that, because I've done a lot of different things. I've taught English and, you know, more recent and other stuff when I was back in the States. So I shouldn't just say that I've blacksmithed, but the main thing was just blacksmithing. Yeah, that's gone off on a little bit too much of a tangent. Let me just check real quick the chats here, see if I missed anything. Nope. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, let's move on in that. As far as the live streams are concerned, like I said, I just hope that you can be patient. And for me, it's a step-by-step process. I've just started this. I don't know, whatever it's called, super chats. I don't even know basically how that works. And so I'd like to, you know, see how that works. And then what I wanted to do, I've prepared, but I don't know if I can do it. Maybe somebody knows here, is I prepared some pictures from the past, blacksmithing related and otherwise. And if I could do like picture in picture in the screen here somewhere, I'm gonna like scroll down, and well, I guess you can't scroll down. Yeah, I want to see like, yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of different buttons on this thing. I don't see where there's any kind of a thing where I can add a picture into this. I think that the problem is I might have to have specific software. So I'm gonna have to look into that more. Or if anybody knows, if anyone knows how I can add a picture into this screen here, then let me know, and I'll see if I can do that or not. There's a few buttons at the bottom here. I'm kind of afraid to press anything. Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah. So anyway, like I said, the one of the end goals is to eventually do live streaming while I'm blacksmithing. But the problem with that is I know that's going to be just chaos because of, number one, I'm out on the balcony here on the 5th floor. It's super loud. I have to figure out a place to place my camera. I can't use my computer. And, you know, it'd probably be very hard for me to talk, but at least if you could see me in my work area and how I'm working on certain projects, I think that would be pretty good. And then I can do a little bit of interaction with the chat, but maybe not like how we can do it here. So I got a ways to go to figure that one out. So I still have to figure out how I can do picture in picture here. And so, yeah, anyway, let me look over here and see if anybody knows. Once gave great advice on volunteering. One thing he wished he'd learned early in life is the fact that once started and he feels as long as you're willing to work for free. Yeah, it's true. Shiva the Destroyer, right. Yeah, well, you know, volunteering, if you give your time, you usually get back more. So it's a good thing. And of course, for me at that time, it was a bit selfish because I wanted to learn blacksmithing or get involved in it more. So that's why I, you know, volunteered. But of course, you have to give your time. So I guess it's win-win. Anyone else have any questions here? No idea how it works on YouTube, but there's usually a screen share option. Yeah, that's the thing is I did see a share. I'm going to click this one thing at the bottom. There's kind of an arrow. And I don't think it's a share, but I'm going to click it. If something funky happens, well, oh well, the live stream will be over. Yeah, it's just giving me stuff. Okay, just share live stream. So that I don't want to do that. Yeah. And then here, yeah, there's some pictures for edit. Yeah, I don't know exactly how I could do a picture in picture, but I wish I could, because I have some really interesting things I could show you. So this is going to have to be something where I download different software so that I'll be able to do that. So let's see. You can put in headphones and set up a text speech thing. Chat doesn't move too fast, so it might work well for your streams. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the lag is or anything like that. You know, how you're seeing, if this comes across and there's any lag or whatever. But for me, when I'm seeing myself talking, it seems good. It just seems a little fuzzy, the picture. That's about it. So, yeah. So anyway, now I want to move on to talking about plans for GS Tongs. And so I'll put it to you like this. For the past, you know, prior to the virus, I was always reasonably busy. So just don't have a lot of time for other things. And then a couple years back, like I said, I kind of got more involved in doing exercise because of my back problems. And so that really, you know, that I started to make more time for myself. And then after the virus struck, my business was still going pretty strong for a while. And, you know, shipping has been like a nightmare though, because of to a lot of locations, like specifically like one, I'll say England, like it's been, the shipping for packages over 2 kilos has been suspended for forever. And so, and it's definitely on the other side, not from here. So that's kind of thrown a monkey wrench in things. And then, you know, with different delays, but I mean, stuff's moving along, but for a period, we had some significant delays. And so, and then on top of all that, the pricing. And I think I mentioned that before. So what the fact, maybe I was just about to speak Chinese and say, that guy, I was going to say about maybe 3 months back, I started to see a significant slowdown. And so I had a lot more personal time for myself, my personal stuff, and then for the channel. And I really enjoyed that. And of course, I still have to make a living. You know, I have a lot of different plans, but I really felt like that to me seemed like the future. And what I mean by that is, I think the way I would like to take GS Tongs is to get back to being just GS Tongs, meaning maybe I just offer, you know, back in the day, I just sold tongs, and that was that. And so I feel like that I would like to eventually just get back to that. I know that will reduce my income a lot. A lot of income comes from other tools like guillotine tool and bending jig and hammers and stuff like that. And a lot of those things, since I'm here in Taiwan, I get those sourced partially from a machinist I know and from some other outfits. and that really helps me given my workspace situation here. And but that really makes me, it keeps me constantly busy. And it's not a matter of having orders, then it's a matter of I've got to go back and forth and back and forth, and it's a long ride from where I am to those places, maybe 45 minutes one way, and there's always something I got to go back, and maybe within a 5-day span I got to go back and forth 3 times. It just eats up a lot of my time. And so I thought that what I would really like is to get the channel to a place where I feel like maybe the revenue from this is enough. It'll never be like that much, but enough where it makes me feel like that I just focus my business back to just tongs. And then what I can, and I have a lot of different ideas that I don't have time to realize. And so that's basically my goal and what I would like, and in the near future, not too far down the line. So another thing that has been tough for me here recently in Taiwan is the exchange rate, because the US dollar just nosedived. And so it's not a big deal because I get paid in US dollars, but I have to pay for shipping in Taiwan dollars. And so that really hurts because the exchange rate previously was about 30 new Taiwan dollars to 1 US dollar. And now it's less than 28. So that's 2 points is pretty significant. When you calculate it out, if you're sending stuff daily or, almost daily, it works out to be a pretty significant chunk of change that I have to subsidize then. So, and, because I've always subsidized the shipping just a little bit. So, but yeah, anyway, so my plan, like I said, for GS Tongs is to go in that direction. And then GS Tongs, and for me personally, for Glen, is by hook or by crook, I want to go back next year and work on my property there and put some house on my property. That, like I had said last time, the septic system is installed, the water's there, the power's there, so ready to roll. So I'm, early next year is, I don't care, about the virus situation. I don't care if I can get, if I have the vaccine or not. I've been waiting for forever here, but I could care less. So I want to go back and I want to get that stuff done. And I think that once that's done, that will help me to move along better with the plan that I said about me just, scaling down, because I'll be forced to at that time. And I think that will help me to focus better. And then that will allow me to offer much better content, I feel, for different ideas, the crazy ideas that I have. Well, I could double down on those crazy ideas, basically. So, yeah, so that's the plan, is to kind of narrow my focus, simplify. When I get back to the States, take care of my property, take care of some sort of a home on that property, and then focus more on Glen GS Tongs. So, yeah. All right. Anybody have any other questions here? Are you still able to have touch marks made? Yeah, it's only, guys. Yeah, I can, and I have recently for a few people, but what I've noticed is more people inquire, but then they kind of just disappear. But yeah, that's something I can still do, but down the line, I'm not sure if I'll continue to offer that. So if you're interested in a touch mark, then you need to maybe contact me sooner rather than later. So how long did it take for you to get scooters down? Your videos are expanding SoCal. Yeah, well, Kane Custom Knives. Yeah, that's a good, a good question. When I first got on the scooter, and that's another thing, is the roaming videos. If I can reduce my workload, the physical workload, then I have more time for those. And there's a lot more I could do with that as well than the simple stuff that I've been posting. Yeah, when I first rode a scooter here, boy, man, it was frightening. And I remember, you have to be real cautious. And so I kind of took it slow and low and always kind of stayed to the right side of the road, which is not easy to do, but I should say it took me maybe 6 months, and I felt more comfortable here. And by comfortable here on the roads, I mean feel comfortable to do things you wouldn't normally do, like I wouldn't normally do back in Washington State. It's like maneuvers that people are doing, illegal things here on the roads that seems to be just accepted. I mean, there are laws and there are cops out there who catch people occasionally, but I feel like it's more of the streets here is still a little bit more of a Wild West scenario. yeah, there are traffic lights and at big intersections, you're not going to go against the traffic light, you'll be killed. But on smaller roads and different byways, it's not good. You know, I have had so many near misses recently, and I had one in particular where when I come home and I go a certain way and I go around this kind of like a loop, like a 180, and as I come around this loop, the road that I'm coming onto here is a one-way this way. And so I have to look at traffic like I'm coming this way and there's a road merging. And if there's no cars coming, you know, your head is turned this way as you're turning to make sure there are no cars. And I'm turning and I'm just about to gun the gas. And there's a woman on a scooter coming the wrong way on a one-way right towards me. And I remember I just cursed like an expletive, the first thing that came out of my head. And I just thought like, wow, if I would have just hit the gas just a little bit more, I would have crashed right into her and it wouldn't have been pretty. And so, you know, so it's kind of thing that gets my blood pressure up. But I'll say this is that the traveling on the roads here, when I go back to the States, it's like I'm probably like I took 2 Valium or something, like I'm so mellow yellow because of like it's not like it is here. Maybe it is in New York City, you know, with the honking and the yelling and screaming, but it's still not to the level I think here of how the roads are just you know, there's so many different vehicles sharing small roads, and you don't know where someone's coming from. You know, you got to have eyes in the back of your head, on the top of your head, in your ears, whatever. Okay, let me get back to the chats here and see if anybody wants to say anything. Yeah, and I want to type something too. I'll just say thanks to all. And then see if I can add like kind of add an emoji here. The heck? Yeah, just add a little smiley face. There you go. Yeah, okay, I'm looking here at Rigid Ironworks. Has the price of steel there increased significantly like here in the States? And in a word, yes, price has increased. I'm not sure I would say significant, but enough. You know, I guess because steel is a traded commodity, so the prices are pretty similar from country to country. Not exactly the same, but it's kind of like gas. You know, it's pretty similar. Like if I calculated the price for gas out here, I mean, you know, you have to think of like if you were in the States, different states have different taxes, so the prices vary. But if I just look at, you know, took it the price of from country to country, the average, you know, for all the states and the average price in the States, and here it works out to be very similar, the price of gas and steel. I don't know. It's been so long since I've purchased steel in the States, but it seems to me to be similar, that it's risen. How much? I don't know, because I don't know how much it's risen in the States. But I will say this too is that they used to always cut everything for free for me here, and they still mostly do. But if there's some unusual thing, like I had purchased a length of pipe, you know, like a 20-foot length of heavy pipe, and they charged me for every cut. And that was not a shock. I mean, it's okay. I understand they you know, that's just the way things go. But, you know, that let me know that times they are changing. And by the way, like has the price of steel increased? How much has it increased by you? By what percentage? Okay. Oh yeah, another thing too I want to say is that I'm in a different room with the door closed because I don't want to, I can hear the birds chirping out there and they were really distracting me last time. So I'm easily distracted. Okay. Yeah, okay, so it's only gas. As I've noticed the price of steel in the UK, especially tool steel, is really expensive too. Well, that's the thing too, is that tool steel, like the stuff I was using prior for my punches, like air hardening steels, they seem to have gone up more than mild or medium carbon steels. So also, what I've noticed, like from my experience in the States, is that the costlier steels, like those alloy tool steels, if you don't buy full lengths and then you want to buy just short pieces, it becomes even more costly than per piece. So it's kind of a situation where you almost have to buy full lengths and figure out a way to transport them or have it cut so that you can transport. Jay Duncanson, Glen, I love your no-nonsense approach to video making and without excessive narration, but would it be possible to do a tong making video with more description? Yeah, I mean, I remember probably the first tong making video I did, and then when you first start doing YouTube, and then a few people watch you, and then I remember, I'll tie this in somehow. Okay, hold on. Right? Is that, you know, I remember being the first time I was criticized was on that video, and I remember being like really crestfallen, like, wow, I can't believe someone would be critical. But over time, you just grow a thick skin because you don't know what people are going to say sometimes on YouTube in the comments. Well, one person's criticism was legit. He said, you know, you're not showing, so this is a crap video. You're not describing how to do this, and you're saying, you know, how to in your title. Well, you know, when you're green on YouTube and especially when you're making things, it's not easy. You know, it's really not easy because you don't have your voice, and you haven't figured out your format, how to set things up and how to describe things, at least for me. So yeah, and so from there on, I've really just kind of shown and not described so much. And so maybe I will, you know, some people have recently emailed me saying like, hey Glenn, I've seen this video, but I still find this technique eludes me. So could you go in more depth? So maybe what I'll do is try to do a very simple tong video where I go step by step and explain everything in detail, like as if it's a class. So yeah, it's something I can do and I will do. There was probably something else I wanted to say there, but I just can't. I need a sip of coffee. Yeah. I'm trying to look over my notes here to see what else. I've actually prepared some notes, and I've said most of what I want to say. I just really wish, I really wish that I could put some pictures up here, because that would really enhance this experience, because then I could explain what this is about, what that's about. And some of those pictures that I found from the past is me standing up while forging, you know, and my cold forge and my big double horn anvil back in the day. So I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to do it. If somebody knows, like I said, please, if you know how I can, within this YouTube studio, without extra software, to post a picture-in-picture, let me know. What I did notice is that I did a little research, and they said you have to transfer the file from a JPEG or whatever, to a PNG, and I did that. I actually got my pictures, and I did that. Actually, I'm going to try, just quickly, bear with me, I'm going to try to just drag a picture down to this screen and see what will happen. I'll just grab, all right. Well, it wants to add it, but I don't know where it's going to add it. We better not. All right, I'll try. I'm going to try to drop this picture in here and see what happens. Whoa. Is anyone seeing this picture? Because you're probably not, but if you see that picture, let me know. Did anyone just see that picture? Okay, I just dragged a picture and it just became like my screen went blank and it went to that picture. So, yeah, I'll have to look into the comments and see here, but yeah, I guess maybe not. Hold on, let me get myself centered here. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Let me go back to the comments here and see what's going on. I'm gonna go back up because I think I missed some people. Go roaming, young man. Yeah, okay, Whipple. How's it going there, Whipple? Whipple one. Yeah, I gotta. You know, I've been doing those roaming videos like once a month, but you know, like I said, it really. Kind of, I'm disappointed because when I become busy, when I'm busy, ask my wife. I'm always joyful because I love my work and I love making. You know, who doesn't want to make money? I got to pay my bills. But it's a conundrum. It's like when I'm busy for work and then I don't have enough time for anything else, I'm always lamenting. Like, wow, I wish I had time for my life. I'm 52. You know, I'll be 53 soon. You know, what the heck? I'm wasting my time. And then the opposite happens. And when you don't have any work, all you can think about is how am I going to make money? You know, what the heck? Oh man, I better eat some. You know, I better eat pretty low today. You know, don't spend too much. You know, so you know, like I said, it's about finding balance, and it's about finding. You know, for me personally, you know, you just have to have a sense of security. You know, and that things are going to work out. And I feel that you can't enter into. Like I've entered into YouTube like as if I'm trying to learn swimming by dipping one toe in at a time, you know, and then a foot and then a leg, and you know, you just got to jump right in. And so that's what I plan to do, like I said, with GS Tongs. Take my operations for where I make tools, scale that down, even if it was just temporarily for a year or two or whatever, and focus on other things, and one of those being the channel, the videos, and everything else, and try to make that come up better than it's been. So, I'm gonna go. Yeah, let me go back around the channels here, and I'll see if I can answer this and answer that. All right. Okay. Where did you learn? Hello. No idea. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Way too many names, right? No idea how it works on YouTube, but there's usually a screen share option in most software, right? And I think I read that right. Yeah, there's not on this, at least that I can see. So I'll have to, I'm gonna have to look at this later on. I'll see what. There's a couple of things on the side here. There's one for camera, and that I don't want to unclick that because I think that that's gonna, take this away from the video. So I'll just wait to see if there's someone who's more knowledgeable about this problem. John Hollowell, I guess I better go ahead and order a vice-mounted fuller then. Yeah, that. I was really surprised, like how I sold the ones that I had like very quickly. I was very happy, and like I've said this already, that I guess a good discount doesn't hurt, and so I've had a few more people interested. So I actually am having a few more of those made, and I have another idea for my guillotine tool before I scale down GS Tongs, where I think I can improve it even further. One of the biggest problems that I have being in Taiwan is, like I have already said, is the shipping, and so everything is based off of weight. And now you're sending steel products; they're not light. So I always have to balance it in my mind about how can I make my product up to a certain standard, but not go crazy and make it where it's too heavy. And so I've run into that conundrum with everything. The tongs less so, because I like short tongs anyway, so that's my preference, and I can make them longer if someone wants and if they're willing to pay a little extra shipping. But for the guillotine tools, and I like to make everything where it's ready to go, all in one, ready to go. And so I don't want it to be like where you buy the guide and you have to make your own dies and like that. It's not my style. So, but I have a great idea for maybe upsizing the vice fullering tool or guillotine tool, and then also making it where it might be interchangeable between using it for a hardy hole and for using it with a vice. So we'll see. But as it stands, the one for just a vice, it's really nice. I mean, it's so simple, but it's very accurate the way that the guides are milled, and the dies fit just right. It's very accurate. The only thing, the problem with it is that the guides are on the side, so you can only work across, your piece perpendicular. Your piece comes in and then you're working like this with your dies, whereas some people maybe want to work in line, but even my guillotine tool, the one that's offset, is very limited with that anyway. Most people, probably 99 or 95% of the time, are using it across the dies, having the work pieces across the dies. So I think I might just abandon the offset style eventually and go with the one with these solid milled sides guides and with the different dies and stuff. And like I said, so anyway, yeah, I'll touch on that probably in a very an upcoming video pretty soon. Love the Type 8 viz, the insight. Yeah, quiet, grave. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, I like I said, I don't claim to be an expert in almost in anything, so, but I just try my best. And I think that YouTube is, what I've noticed on YouTube is that a lot of channels across the board have suffered a lot post-virus, but it's not just the virus. It's not just that. It's that a lot of other entities are coming into YouTube, like you see, like mainstream Hollywood people have YouTube channels, and big movie production people have start to put up stuff, and that's great. It's becoming more and more professional, but it's slowly it's like becoming like YouTube is almost becoming like how free TV became like cable TV and then beyond, where it's becoming less and less about just amateur hour stuff. Like I always say, I'm Mr. Amateur Hour, and it's becoming more polished, and that's good, I guess. You know, most people absorb entertainment. They want to see a polished product, but I think the thing I would say about YouTube is that it was a platform for the average Joe and Jane to be seen, to be heard. And yeah, if you're able to, you know, take what you do and polish that and make it look great, of course that's better. I'm not, you know, if I said to you guys that, well, I want to do these videos and I'm just going to do it like, Rough Rider style, you know, and that's it. I don't care about improving. That's not the correct attitude. But the other end of it is that it has to be more like this live stream is very, it's very spontaneous. Is that just thinking of something and saying something? There's no production that goes into this, a little bit of preparation, and that's about it. I mean, maybe in the future I take that up a few notches, but the further that you take that up and up and up in production value, the less it becomes you're communicating with your friends or something like that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just YouTube to me has become saturated with okay, there's more people on, you know, everybody and their grandmother is a blacksmith now, you know, and everybody and their grandmother does this or that on YouTube, you know, and introduces this or that, and there's a lot more you know, it's always clickbaity, but it's become even more so. And then, like I said, the big names. And so what I notice is that channels that I watch, like that, you know, they have a decent subscribership, and, you know, not big channels, but definitely medium size or even beyond that. Their hits went from, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands into like the low, just few thousands. Some people not even cracking 1,000 per video, where in the past they were assured to get 20, 30,000 views per video. And I noticed that, like I said, across genres, it's not just blacksmithing. And so, like I said, it's just because of the saturation of YouTube. People only have so much view time. So I guess you got to kind of hit home and get right to the point nowadays. And you got to have very special content and like that. But what I noticed for myself is I've made the videos that I made that got real popular. I couldn't even figure out why, because they were really just kind of ridiculous when I look back on them. But maybe that's partially what some people want to see, or it's a matter of, you know, somehow that just got, you know, picked up by different people, and they shared that, and then it went out and then got, you know, became viral or whatever. And so the point I'm getting at is that when I've had kind of an idea that was a little bit out of the box and like, hey, this could show someone, just show some people something a little bit different, I remember like thinking, wow, maybe like once every 3 months or so, I could get like one video that really got hot. And now forget it. I could be, you know, it's been years, and like it's just videos are just like not bad, you know, just stable, just a few thousand hits here and there, enough to keep me going. But nothing like that. I would wake up the next morning and say, wow, I can't believe 10,000 people watched this video overnight. Like that seems to be for most people a thing of the past, or at least until you come up with something where you film like a UFO coming from outer space. You know, it's like, you know, so, or you're a top line personality, or, you know, like I said, like that sort of a thing. All right, let me get back to the comments. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let's see. Yeah, you know, I'm happy. It looks to me like there's 30 people watching, so that's nice. You know, I said to my wife, I think there was 50 people at the peak last time, and I thought, whoa, that's like unbelievable. I can't believe 50 people would want to watch me. Chirpy's Tinkerings. Hey, Ron, how's it going? I don't know who Ron is. I'm Glen. So Rigid Ironwork says, since March 2020, steel has increased 215%. I haven't seen that increase. No, I haven't seen 200%. That's ridiculous. And so that definitely points in the direction of like where people might want to do a lot more recycling, you know, projects with recycled materials. So, you know, blacksmiths from way back in the day, you know, steel was definitely a treasured commodity, and that's why stuff was reworked and reworked and reworked. So, yeah, I guess we're going to go back to old times, you know, a lot of old steel being used. You know, a thing too is when I lived in the Northwest, when I was in Washington, and I used to travel around for steel, and I used to go to a few different places. There'd be like one place was best for rounds and squares, you know, of miles, and then there was another place I'd have to travel a little farther afield to get tool steels. And I remember that place. I might have mentioned this, is that they had a scrap bin where they would allow you to dig through, and then they would charge you per the pound, and that would have, you know, if you're lucky enough, you can see how pieces are marked, the colorings on the end, so you would know what that was. A lot of it, what they had was 4140, and that was very prevalent. You could find different chunks of that if you wanted to make hammers or whatever, but you could also find other stuff like A2 or H13 or stuff like that. So, and then that would be at a reasonable price. Whoa, I can't believe it. Someone just, it looks to me like someone gave $10. Jay, wow, I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. I don't know who you are except Jay. So after this live stream is over, and then if anyone has donated anything, I'll go through that, and then I'll give you an additional shout out if I can figure out who you are. And if not, if you want to let me know, that would be great. And I'll give you a shout out in an upcoming blacksmithing video. Yeah, thank you very much, Jay. I'm gonna click on your donation here just to see if it tells me. It says, John Hollowell. Okay, there you go. All right. Hey, a couple of gallons for the next roaming video. Yeah, that's more than a couple of gallons in my little scooter. So you sure you want to make that? You maybe make that $1. No. Thank you very much. Thank you, John Hollowell. Appreciate that donation. Really appreciate it. You made my day. Make my day. My wife will be happy. Yeah, so anyway, let's get back on here to see if anyone else has any questions. Yeah, so, you know, and like I said, if anyone knows how I can I have pictures I'd like to show you, set them in here, you know, inset them, picture in picture. If you know how to do that on YouTube without me downloading extra software, holla back. Get back to your boy. Okay. Okay. So it's only what it says here. Oh yeah. Okay. So Henry St. Fort says don't see it. So when I had that picture and I dragged it, only I could see it. Yeah. It just took the place of this. So thank you. That lets me know no one saw it. And it's a shame. It was a picture of the shop that I built back in the States. And I got great stories to tell. I got a lot of stuff like that, even on these silly live streams that I could say that will they'll hold your attention. They'll hold your attention better than the Dune movie. Right? Whoa, somebody else donated $15. What the hell? Man, they must have not bought steel this week. All right, let me check who that is and give him a shout out. Heather's Chubby Hubby. Oh, that's a name. He writes, you do nice work, buddy. Good to see you live. Really, thank you very, very much. That generosity is just beyond, you know, the call of duty. So I really appreciate that, Heather's Chubby Hubby. Like I said, once this live stream is over, in an upcoming video, I will re-shout out you guys, anyone who donates. Just blown away. Thank you very much. Right, click out of that. I'm gonna run out of, like, if people donate too much, I might run out of things to say. You know, I always repeat myself a lot, saying, "Oh, much appreciated," and "Thanks very much." Really, I cannot believe $25 to do this live stream right now. I cannot believe people see me in this little rinky-dink room with this fuzzy screen. But hey, I appreciate it because it goes to a good cause. Like I said, that it helps me a lot to take time for my videos. And so I better hurry and improve that in my video. So that hurt and film another video. And that's another thing, is I didn't write it down, but I wanted to show you the list of things I want to do. That you know, when I get an idea when I'm hammering and I say, oh, this would be great to try for a video. And then I just like, wow, it's just like, you know, I just don't have the time. I guess I have the time now. Someone just donated $50. $50? You gotta be kidding me. What the hell? Man, oh man, I'm about to cry. Holy mackerel. I was gonna say, like, whoa, it's this video, we're in 45 minutes and I gotta get to work. Maybe I don't gotta go to work. No, I still have to. Let me check. Wow, Rigid Ironworks, you're just too much, man, too much. you've given enough for the rest of the year. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us, Glenn. Yeah, I'm happy. I don't have, I'll be honest, a lot of guys have much more knowledge than I do, but one thing I might have over a lot of people is I'm very talkative. So, and I might repeat myself a lot, but I'll do my best. Really, Rigid Ironworks, just wow. Thank you. Thanks a ton. Really appreciate it. I don't know where the hell this money's going. Like, who gets this? You know, I think it probably routes from YouTube somehow into my account. And they take, I think they take a, from what I read, I think they take a cut, which is fair. So, yeah. Guys, thank you very much. Hold on, let's, I'll go down and see if I see anything else. I got a few more things I want to get to, so I'll just see if I see any other questions. Oh, there's my boy, Wyoming Blacksmith Tools. Hi, Glenn. My question is, should really old guys be allowed to swing a hammer? You damn right, Jerry. You damn right they should. You know, yeah, well, I mean, it's like, I guess it's like my dad has got like a kind of a ridiculous way to say things. And he always says, well, if you got hair in your paintbrush, you know, just keep going. I don't know, his reference seems kind of, you know, odd, like as if he's talking about something else. But yeah, you know, if you got it, just keep going. You know, I've known people that have pretty much almost died with a hammer in their hands. And I can't think of it. I told my wife, I said, when I go, just, you know, you might just see me slumped over my handful, just dead, you know, and that'd be great. You know, you should celebrate that day when that day comes. And that's another thing I want to say. And I know my wife, she won't watch this whole thing probably, but she'll watch some of it for sure, is, you know, she works in a nursing home. She's a social worker, and all I get to talk about is death and dying, you know? So, man, this is refreshing for me. All right. Yeah, well, anyway, Jerry, just keep at it. And I appreciate all your support as well. All right, Chirpy's Tinkering says, when I'm setting up streams, I tend to just make an unlisted one and do everything on it while saying what options I'm doing and then see. Yeah, that's a good idea. I never thought about that. Right. Yeah, maybe I'll do that, like do like it where it's unlisted and then listed. But then I think it's kind of lacking that spontaneity. I don't know. I'll see. I'll think about this. But with the donations that I've received thus far, I mean, I have no excuse. Like I should go buy that, whatever software will help me do what I want to do for live streams. It's just a matter of here. Like if this, you know, what's between my ears can like figure it out. That's, you know, like I always was telling people, like I understand hammers and shovels. And beyond that, you know, like when it's tech like this, it's like, it's very, I'm not that old, but it's intimidating. That's all. And speaking of shovels, boy, if I could share pictures, I'll show you something I did back in the day. And yeah, it'll amaze you. It'll make you want to donate $1. Let's see here. Hi from, yeah, John, how are you from Australia? You know, I've got a lot of, I'll say this quickly, is that my opinion only, and maybe it's biased, but best customers in the world, Americans, like by far. And a close second place is Australia. I have a lot of customers, majority of my customers are in the US and Canada as well, we'll say North America, and Australia. You know, just those are the top 3 places that I sell tools to. And so, and Europe, yeah, it's definitely England is up there, but I haven't been able to send anything to England for about 1.5 years. So, and I do apologize to all my good UK followers, subscribers, and customers. You know, I'm always checking to see when the shipping is going to reopen. But when it does, I'll let you know. And otherwise, feel free to contact me anytime, and I'll check. We're in Oz. I'm in SEQ. I'm in SEQ. Paul Orchard. I don't know. Maybe it's eluding me when you say that. Oh, he's saying, okay, where he is in Australia. Okay, right. So he's talking to someone else. Right. All right. Yeah, okay. I see a few like people who shouldn't be on commenting or commenting. So just ignore the idiots. When I figure out too how to get rid of idiots, I will. Hey, Daniel Crawford, how are you there? Thanks for all the emojis. Right, I appreciate it. Thumbs up to you, my friend. Oh, looks like DK Wolf donated $4. I don't know why that didn't pop up in the top, but down here, whoa, thank you, DK Wolf. I do appreciate that very much. That's a lot. $1 is a lot. $4 is a ton. $50 is through the roof. Really appreciate it, DK Wolf. I'm going to be really like shouting out a lot of people. Let me just click to see if I see. Yeah, I don't see like, hold on. No, okay. Yeah, okay, it doesn't show your name there, but yeah, I'll be in touch. All right, I got to get back to what I want to say. I'm just looking at the side too long here. I don't mind. I mean, I don't blame you if you don't want to watch this because I can't. It's just like watching a guy occasionally sip coffee and read comments. I love this guy's style. You must mean my fashion style, or right? This is my air conditioning, right? And that's what. Oh yeah, before this live stream is over, is I want to touch on Taiwan a little bit. So let me just read through this stuff here and see if I see anything else I got to respond to, and then I'm going to talk about. I don't want to focus on negatives, but I do want to say some negatives about living in Taiwan because people ask me about, hey, what's the good, what's the bad, compared, if you compare Taiwan to the U.S. And so I have some stuff written down. Yep, got it right here, and I'll touch on that. So let me just go through the comments quick. See what the heck's going on. Are you planning on moving back to the U.S.? Yeah. Flat lines up. Yes, in a word. I'll tell you, I'll just quickly say this, and this probably I'll save more for the next live stream. Is that, if it wasn't for my wife, then I don't think I would be in Taiwan. I love Taiwan, and I've spent most of my adult life in Taiwan. I first came here when I was 23 years old, and I'm let's say 22. No, it was 22. I'm just saying that because I'm 52, so it's 30 years. So that's 30 years. My wife and I have spent 10 years in the States during those 30 years. So 20 years of most of my adult life has been spent here. And so I always will have Taiwan. It will always be a home for me. No question about it. Maybe I'll die here. I don't know. But I want to move back to the States just because of it just suits me climate-wise better and just where I want to be at this stage in my life. But I'll touch on some of that when I talk about the Taiwan, the maybe more negative aspects of Taiwan. So yeah, but I'm coming back. And so that's the thing is once I can get a home, and as far as a home on that property, I was thinking even if it was just a simple manufactured home, I'd be happy with that. Just simple, no problem. And reason being is I have experience with more complicated building, and I wanted to show pictures of my old home back in Washington. And so when I figure out how to do that, how to show you guys pictures on these streams, then that'll be reality, hopefully the next stream. All right. Hello, Ron Tech Ron. Hammer and Anvil. This still live? Yeah, I'm still live. Live and in your face. Right. Okay, hold on a second. Chirpy's channel. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Chirpy's channel, so I'll have to check that out. Good smelting and machining content. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. If you can learn anything from watching me, it makes me real happy. Real happy. Smash that like. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I do DK Wolf. I see your $4 probably came in first, but I didn't see that for some reason, so I apologize about that. Much appreciated. My excitement is making you giggle. Well, hey, if you got money, if you woke up and drank some coffee and saw a few donations, you'd be smiling too. Oh, Super Pedro looks like gave $1. Oh, much appreciated, my friend. Thank you. I like that emoji too. I don't know why I didn't see that. I think maybe sometimes I have to scan for them. They don't pop up at the top. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, Rigid Ironwork says, if you return to the States, will you continue to sit when forging? I think about that a lot, and I will say yes, because I don't think, sitting is not necessarily better than standing. I think maybe you could probably incorporate both, and that's probably what I will do in the States. I won't be sitting 90% of the time, maybe let's say 60, percent of the time when I go back to the States. But the way I want to set up shop, build a simple shop when I get back to the States, is have it where I can also be down low and work on my small anvils from a seated position, and then maybe a larger anvil, maybe have that where I'm standing. So, but I'll go into that in more detail. Yeah, so thanks again, Super Pedro. I appreciate the buck. Got a buck? You're in luck. Yeah, so okay, I seem to be pretty much caught up with most of the questions. So I want to go on to, so the negatives of Taiwan. I've touched on some of these, but when I think about the U.S. and I said, oh, well, U.S. has its issues. We all know that. The whole world knows that. The whole world blames the U.S. for everything, so nothing you can do, But I would say that, get back to Taiwan, the number one thing is the humidity. It absolutely is. It just drains me like nothing else. I don't know if you can see, but I have and this is really fuzzy, but I always have black in the summer under my eyes, and it's not from sleep, being sleep deprived. It's actually from, some people are, what they say here, allergic to humidity, to certain levels of humidity, and I must fall into that category. They say if you get that blackness under your eyes, at least that's what Chinese doctors say, that humidity affects you in a way adversely more than maybe other people. So when I see Taiwan people who were born here and who have been always acclimated to this weather, they seem to get along much better than I do as far as sweating. And so if your body is constantly sweating, it's the heat and plus the humidity, right? If you had humidity but it's not so hot, that's tolerable to a degree. But when you add the heat in, when it's always 95 degrees plus the humidity, man, it takes everything out of you. You could sleep 8 hours, perfect night's sleep, wake up, and you come into that weather, and you would feel like you didn't even sleep a second. So I've had to try my best to force myself without relying on external means like drinking coffee or other things like that to try to, keep myself going. And I noticed during the summer, I only have a few good hours of hammering. And, when I'm drenched, and you probably in my videos and blacksmithing videos, you hear the wind sometimes, in the camera, and that's more than the wind. That's my fan. I have to have a fan blowing on me. And sorry, I try to keep it set off to the side, but eventually I've got to pull it closer, otherwise I'll just overheat. So yeah, and anyway, your body constantly sweating to maintain temperature, it just fatigues you. It fatigues me like there's no tomorrow. So, and I hate air conditioning. I'm in air conditioning right now in this room, and I would never be in air conditioning during the day, but I did it because I wanted to close the doors to keep the birds at bay so I don't hear them. And I only use air conditioning at night in order to sleep. And if I didn't have to use air conditioning at night, I wouldn't. But in the summer here, I wouldn't sleep. And when I say summer here, we're talking May until about November. So you're talking about 6 months of the year where it's pretty oppressive, and the other 6 months it's much more tolerable. The climate it definitely has two seasons that you could notice. The winter, it does cool off considerably. All right, so yeah, another thing. Back to Taiwan. Beyond the weather, the one thing that I really notice here and it's draining is something that I call construction fatigue. It's in this city, Taipei, the way that things were set up here. When they came here when the people who came from mainland China during the Cultural Revolution and settled here in Taiwan and started to build this up, they didn't have any plan to stay here long term. And you could tell by the old architecture and the infrastructure. They didn't think into the future too far. So now the way construction is now, they have to redo a lot of things that didn't get done properly. If they can expand roads, and then rapid transit system that they're always working on, and new high-rise buildings going in. So you never, since day one that I've been here, you never go down into downtown or any of the surrounding areas without running into heavy construction. And it becomes fatiguing at times. It's like the city is never completed, and it's never in my lifetime going to be completed. I know they say the same thing about New York City. They say, oh, it's a city that's never finished. Well, that's because all the red tape, you can't build. And I remember my father always complained, saying they put a toilet in the local park and it cost them $1 million, and it took them 3 years to build. It's well, yeah, if you got all sorts of unions and red tape, and you got 10 people watching and one person working, yeah, that's what happens a lot of times. But here, they can get stuff done, but they have to work around a lot. And so, the way sometimes I want to film this, the way like excavator operators work in the city here is amazing. I just cannot believe like how they can operate. Like I said in the last live stream, or not a live stream, in one of the roaming videos, that large rig operators here, definitely they have balls of steel to drive in these streets, because if you one wrong turn, you'll be stuck for sure. And with all the scooters going about and like that, you really have to watch out. Well, people who operate like different heavy machinery in construction sites, really, they have some skill, to get. I've seen guys drive excavators, like pretty, not massive ones, but medium sized, not mini excavators, off of a dump truck the dump truck's bed is taller than my head, and they would drive right off, with using the arm to get off and work themselves down and get back on. So that's pretty interesting to see. So yeah, anyway, so construction fatigue, another thing over here that's tough. Another thing beyond that is the density of the population. As there's just so many people crammed in such a small space that you never have privacy. Never have privacy. If you want to go out and take a walk, seemingly there's always someone behind you, and it's just, when you're not in the right mood, it's annoying. It's annoying. So, and then beyond that, another thing which I always have mentioned in the roaming videos is the disregard for the traffic laws. And a lot of that, I think, comes from, I'm not bashing cultures or anything like that, not at all, because you could say tons of things about Americans and probably half of them be true. So, disparaging remarks or whatever, fine, not a problem. But remember, I've been here 20 years, so I think I have, my opinion should be valued a little bit, or at least listened to. There's a lot of what I would call the me first attitude, meaning like if you're not me and you're not a family member, like we're going first, like, and that happens on the roads, or it happens in places like where you have to wait in line, and it becomes really chaotic, and it's like, I don't know, it's tiring to try to fight in society, to fight against like I can remember, like, this is much more prevalent back in the day, where you go to like 7-Eleven and then you want to wait in line and you're waiting, and then there's people just walk right in front of you, and it's like, and as a Westerner, like, the first thing you think is like, geez Louise, like, man. And I snapped a few times, and I know that it just doesn't help, it doesn't work. It's like you're talking to a brick wall, so it's better to just stay calm, cool, and just just do your thing. But what happens is like on the roads, it actually makes you become like where you don't follow the law because you feel that that might even be the safer way to go. Or like when you're in line, you start to just push people aside because you feel like I'm not, it's like it's like, hey, mom's got 10 kids, man, and I'm like in the middle or whatever. I've got to like speak up and fight, or I ain't gonna get any food kind of attitude. And so I can understand where maybe that comes from. People maybe not too long ago, just a generation ago, they came from, from being destitute and in poverty. And so you see that with older people more than younger people, where it's like, they feel they're entitled, or they feel like they have to speak up or push ahead. And that can be very tough living, it's like George said, we're living in a society, people. Sometimes I want to yell, we're living in a society here. But maybe we're not. It's like someone said, and I've repeated, is that, and this is why I'd like to move back to the States, back to the sticks, back to the, the close-in country, whatever you want to call it, is cities are concrete. They're not concrete jungles. They're actually concrete human zoos, where place where people congregate and pretty much stay in the confines of. So, yeah. All right. And then another thing is, for me in Taiwan, with doing my business here, is the post office, that's improved. Taiwan's post office service, great. U.S. post office, top notch. My opinion only. If you don't like it, don't take away your donation. But trying to go into a post office here and then wait in line, holy mackerel. I mean, sometimes it is tough. And they recently instituted where you have to take a number, and thank God, because for years, like, there's no number taking. So when you went in, it was a free for all. Like, there was no specific lines at counters, and people were just, like I said, just pushing ahead, throwing their packages on the scale, and you'd be like, whoa, looking at people like, what the heck is going on here? you know, and so I've had more than my share of getting upset at that. And like I said, I haven't had hair for a while, but if I had any hair, it would have been long gone, you know, from dealing with the post office for the first few years. But since they did the take a number thing, it's become more civilized. And they used to not have the take a number thing at the banks back in the day, and that was also chaotic. And then they finally said, you know what, we got to like put like weight, you know, seating for people to wait and then take a number, because otherwise people are not going to act like they should. So it's unfortunate that people have to have laws, you know, to act like the way, to act civilized, but that's the way it is. Another thing about Taiwan, a quick thing is, and I posted a quick like little exercise thing yesterday, is someone said, well, why you got a mask on outside? In Taiwan, it's mandatory. You have to wear a mask outside. And I feel like I'm getting respiratory problems from that. But, oh well, what are you going to do? You know, it's mandatory. You can't go outside. You can't go anywhere outside into any store. Just be outside walking by the river without a mask on. So not easy, but I'll go into that in more detail in the next video or live stream. And the final thing, the negative thing I want to say about Taiwan, and then I'll say positive things from there on out, is people are loud. I mean, I thought I was loud, but man, the people, one of the reasons I can blacksmith here is, okay, I'm on a pretty loud road traffic-wise, it's loud, but people themselves are super loud, man. It'd be like there's a park across from me here, and you live in the city in Taiwan, you might want to think twice about living near where there's greenery and open space, because you got like the old people who go to do their exercising, like the qigong and other stuff in the park early in the morning, like at 5 o'clock, and they're yelling and screaming like at 5 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, so, hey, that's fine. I'm up. But what about all the other people who are not? You know, so just loud, like if there are two people having a conversation on one of the benches at the bottom here, it's actually like they're standing right next to me. They're talking so loud. So if someone is talking on a cell phone, walking in the street, they're just very, very loud. And maybe that ties into the attitude of where I've got to speak up to be heard, or for anyone to pay attention. I don't know. I don't know how that works, okay? But my brother always used to yell at me because he's saying I'm a loudmouth, and, you know, maybe that's the case for me as well. So I don't know. So, but there's one example is there's a woman. I don't know, you know, I'm kind of being like, I'm seeing like in my glass, like the reflection of this screen, and that's starting to bug me out a little bit. There's a woman every morning without fail, and she walks around the school that's on the other side of me here, and every morning at 6 o'clock she does this. She walks briskly, and then she'll like push her arms back like this, and every time she pushes her arms back when she's walking right in front, she goes she's like a crow or something loud. And then she's making this crow noise 6 in the morning, and okay, fine or whatever. You know, other people are up and about, but you know how many people sleep late in Taiwan? And then the way the buildings are, it's like a canyon. It just reverberates. I just hear like that. It's just crazy. And then, you know, so I mean, I just want to like I said, it just doesn't want to like yell at the top of my lungs, like shut the hell up, you know. But it's not worth it, you know. You know, when in Rome, do as the Romans. You know, when in Taiwan, do as Taiwanese. So I guess like I said, how my brother used to always yell at me, saying like I'm a loudmouth and or whatever. Maybe I just got to embrace my inner loudmouth and just join the crowd. All right. Well, anyway, listen, this has gone on and on and on. Anything else I want to say? Yeah, you know, also you guys asked me last time what blacksmiths I like or channels, and I wanted to just mention one other, is that I like Mark Asbury for one reason. I think his hammering is just super precise. And to me, that is just really, really on point. Whenever I watch videos of his, I feel like that his hammering technique is impeccable and something to aspire to. So that was another guy I wanted to mention. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? We're over an hour here. Let me see here. So how do you really feel? Yeah, right. Well, yeah, right. I'll let you know more about my true feelings next time. Stay tuned. Yeah, don't feed the humans, right? Yeah, that's a good point, right? Well, listen, I'm blown away by the donating as well, and to everyone, donate or not, who comes and watches and listens and has positive things to say. You know, I think at the end of the day, like, you know, I need to remind myself as well. It's like I just kind of went through a lot of negatives, but there's so many positives of living in Taiwan, and I will next time I'll talk all about those. And because I think in life we have to focus on the good things. You know, take it day by day. You know, don't ever try to get too down. Don't ever try to get too high, and just do the best you can. So I feel like this is kind of like all these people like who names, you know, the screen names like who I know. I feel like it's like a little family, and for me that's good. I'm not very close with my own family. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but that's reality, and I'll probably touch on that in my own personal life a little bit more. But you know, you just got to find something every day. Find a little happiness every day. And what I notice for me is that for blacksmithing especially, to end on the blacksmithing note at least, is it gives me joy. Whenever I have something to do there, especially, and for me, especially tongs, for whatever the reason, it makes me happy to work on them. And I feel like it stimulates my mind because I'm always thinking. And it's kind of that, you know, I have these two pieces of steel, and now at the end I have a tool and something I can see, something planned, something accomplished, something done. And I feel like I can, when I put my head on the pillow at night, well, I don't usually use a pillow, but when I put my head down at night, I can just sleep a lot better because of that. So I feel like just small happiness every day. Just got to find something small to be joyful about that gives you joy, and then just take it like that. So yeah. Anyway, thanks very much to everyone. I'll end this live stream now. I promise I will do my best to try to figure out how to do the picture-in-picture, what software I need. And if anyone does know and they want to contact me, by all means, go right ahead. Remember, my emails, there's two. You can get a hold of me. The best way usually is email is Glen with one N, Glen 03 at earthlink.net, or maybe easier is gstongs@gmail.com. Okay. Yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks very much. Appreciate the donation. I really, really do. See you then. Bye-bye.